Hello boys and girls, and welcome to my player ratings for yesterday's absolute bullshit performance against Brighton. How many times am I going to sit here and repeat myself and say this over and over again and talk about performances where we simply do not turn up? It's getting boring having to repeat myself about the same problems, the same issues, week in, week out. We're playing Brighton, with all due respect to them, okay? They've not won a single game in 2020 before the lockdown. Arsenal come along, yeah, you know what, we'll take a victory. Nice and easy. We are the most easiest team to play against in the Premier League. Teams go up against Arsenal and they look forward to it. They rub their hands. Arsenal at the weekend. Nice easy game. 3 points. Let's rough them up a little bit. And that's another issue. I've no problem with players getting stuck in. Players fighting and giving 110% for their teams. But are you actually taking the piss at some of the things that I saw in that game? What happened to Leno? The constant fouls without any kind of booking to stop it. Honestly, and one of the issues with that is because of the media. They are one of the reasons why this happens to us all the time. Rough them up a little bit. Get stuck in. Arsenal don't like that. There's getting stuck in and there's injuring your players. You know, along with Aubameyang, Leno is the best player at this club. And has been the best player this season. How long is he going to be out for now? You know, when I was looking at the images and the replays, it looks like an ACL. 6 to 9 months. I'm praying that the images look worse than what it actually is. And that it's maybe just an impact and the way his knee stretched like that. It was one of those, you know, incidents where it's just not as bad as what you think. And it's only a few weeks out maybe. A strain or something like that. I'm praying that it's only that. But I'm just so pissed off with this team and the mentality. And that's the big issue here, the mentality of this team. You know, you've got to question some of the decisions by Mikel Arteta in terms of substitutions and his lack of game management. It's all right that he's a new manager and he's learning and everything looks fine in some of the stuff that we see. But you've also got to see the right decisions be made. Now, if he uses this as a learning curve and, you know, he gets better from it, so be it. But recently you're seeing things and you're going, don't look right. Something just doesn't sit well. Players that are not playing. Martinelli now. 2 games he's not been used. We've now made 10 substitutions in 2 games and he's not been one of them. Why? Can somebody explain? Did he miss a Zoom meeting? What is it? There's so many questions. And all this does, and all this highlights, is how rotten this team is from the core. And it's an issue that's been going on for years. From the time when Arsene Wenger was manager towards the end of his reign. And there were problems. Through to Unai Emery. Even when Freddie Ljungberg took over for a few games. And now to Mikel Arteta. It's rotten. You know, I would rather we rip it up. Get rid of all the big names. And bring in a load of youngsters. And some names that we might not hear of. That we might not think, oh, unbelievable, world class, yet rebuild. And get a team that wants to fight. And get a team that actually wants to play for the badge on their shirt. Because at the moment I don't see none of that. Absolutely none of it. I see a team that are just spineless. A team that are collecting their wage every week. But what are they actually doing to collect that wage? All looks good when we see YouTube videos of Arsenal in training. scoring great goals, amazing passing and moving. Doesn't matter when it ain't replicated on the pitch for 90 minutes, is it? Don't mind losing to a better side. Don't mind losing when you put everything you physically can into the game. But did we? Do we? Nah. Absolutely no chance. And I'm bored shitless of it. Bored. Absolute joke, man. Seriously. And I'm going to go and get into the player ratings. And don't expect this to be pretty. Because I'm so pissed off with so many of them performances, man. Starting off in goal, Leno. Not going to mark him. And it's as simple as that. Played 40 minutes before he got injured. But I'm still not going to mark him. And I'm praying that he is not as bad as first feared. Because that will be absolutely devastating for us to lose him. The one positive that we've had on a shit season is Leno. Moving into the defensive area, first of all on the right hand side, Hector Bellerin. Absolutely dreadful. Everything that I've spoken about for so long was evident in this game. His positioning was shocking. No pace. When was the last time Hector Bellerin got the ball and actually run forward and took on fullbacks? You know, committed players. Tried making things happen like fullbacks are supposed to do. Absolutely poor performance from Hector Bellerin. Rubbish. Free. Moving into the centre of defence. First of all, Mustafi. And he wasn't too bad. Right up until the very, very end. And there's the issue right there. Of why we need new centre-backs. And ones that don't switch off for a split second. Because for Brighton's second goal, he switched off for 1 second. And that little hobbit spins him. And that's the difference between a top draw defender and one that's good, but not quite good enough. Because they could be good for 89 minutes and not really put a foot wrong. But then 1 split second, falls asleep. Not good enough. Free. Alongside him, Rob Holden. And I don't think he had a bad afternoon. But again, same issue. Fell asleep for the goal. Too slow to react. Doesn't anticipate the step over. To get tight to his man so that he can't make that flick. There's the key differences right there. Between players that take you to that next level to players that keep you on that level. Not good enough. And the issues that I've had and the reasons why I was worried about him playing in the first place were all there to see. Free. Next to them, Kolasinac. And again, what do you want me to do? Be nice because it was his birthday? No, not good enough. In an attacking area, what did he do? There was one moment when he got to the byline and he fell over. Come on, man. In a way, I can understand the Tierney situation because he's just come back from a long injury, then the break. And he just played 90 minutes. And for a lot of that, he played it against 10 men with Man City. So I can kind of get that in, you know, in the grand scheme of things. But if you're going to play, do something. Give the manager a selection headache as to why you should be playing, you know, in the next game. That bullshit. Free. Next player was Guendouzi. And what I'll say about Guendouzi is I wish he showed as much fight on the pitch as he did off it at the end of the game. You know, the one thing about him is when it takes so long to move the ball. I think everybody can see now just how important Granit Xhaka is to this team. He's so important. And Guendouzi was just not good enough, man. Can't fault his work rate. But there was so much lacking in this game from him. I'll give him a 4. Next player was Dani Ceballos. Really? Come on, man. He's got a great song. It's about it. He performed against Burnley at the start of the season. What else has he actually done? This guy's not going to get in the Real Madrid team. Are you mad? Behave yourself, man. He ain't getting near it. You know, Real Madrid are probably sitting there thinking, please take him off our hands, Arsenal. Go on. You ain't getting nowhere near that Real Madrid team. Not good enough. In the final third, opportunities to pass the ball, to move it quick, release players. And he starts spinning round, dancing around the ball all the time. Let me have another touch. Turn. Bored of it, man. Our midfield is bullshit. Flat as a pancake. Awful. Free. Next player was Saka. And it's a shining light. How on earth is a kid showing experienced players how to lead? I'd be embarrassed if I was a experienced player and this kid was showing me what to do. And I'm not being disrespectful by saying he's a kid. I'm just highlighting the fact that he is still a kid. 18. And he's grabbing games by the scruff of the neck and trying to do things. And he's showing experienced players how to do it. I'd be embarrassed. He's the one shining light. And I'll tell you something, Arsenal. It's players like him that we need to be keeping at this club. When you throw out all those big names, it's these ones like him that you need to be bringing into the team and building round. Go sort out his contract, man. Honestly, because it's embarrassing that he's got a year left. Everyone's hovering. Vultures everywhere. Because they see what he can do. One positive, like I said, he gets an 8. For me, Saka was brilliant. Tried everything. Fearless. And one that actually looks like he wants to play for this club when he's on that pitch. Next player was Pepe. And he had a quiet and frustrating afternoon up until his moment of brilliance with the goal. Very reminiscent of the West Ham goal that he scored. And this is the thing with Pepe. You don't mind if he has a quiet game and then he pulls a bit of magic out. Because that's what you pay the money for. Players don't have to be amazing for every single minute that they play. But they need to have that moment of quality. They need to have that moment of magic. And that's what he did. He should have won us the game. It's not his fault what went on behind him after we scored. You know? You've got to remember as well, what minute did he actually score the goal? 68th minute. So 20 minutes to see out a game against a team that were playing for the first time in over 3 months. Really? Weren't Pepe's fault. I put a lot of his performance before the goal down to first game back and its rustiness. Didn't even get a minute against Manchester City, so it's understandable. But what a brilliant goal. And I'll give Pepe a 6. I thought it was a decent enough return. You know, we want to see a lot more in that attacking area, and we want to see more of the kind of things we saw with the goal, because that's what he's capable of doing. It's as simple as that. Next player was Alexandre Lacazette. Just does not justify being in the team. What? I see a statistic about how many games it is he's gone without a goal away from home. Nearly £50 million we paid for him, man. It's done. Another player that we need to just sell now. Rip up the form book. Get rid of it. Just start again, man. It's not good enough. It's not. I love the guy. I genuinely love the guy. He's such a great person. But it's not happening on the pitch. It's just not happening, man. And I can't deal with it anymore. Performance was poor. And he gets a 3. Last player was, of course, Aubameyang. And another frustrating afternoon. And the thing that I will say about Aubameyang is that he works so hard. He makes so many runs. And again, yesterday, he made runs and he just doesn't get the fucking ball. What's the use of all the training and the videos you see in training? If you don't do it in a game, you don't pass him the ball. And what's going to happen is we're going to lose one of our best players. I've waited years for a player that can score goals and play like this since the likes of Thierry Henry. And now we're going to lose him because we're shit. Pisses me right off. But overall, not the greatest of afternoons. Service was dreadful. And it does look like he's had enough. And I don't blame him, because I've had enough. We've all had enough. Bored of it. Go straight down the middle, man. I'll give him a 5. Can't do no more. When you're looking at the substitutions, Martinez that come on for Leno. Couldn't do anything about the goals. I thought his handling was good. I thought his distribution was good. And I'll go straight down the middle with him and I'll give him a 5. The other substitutes, Eddie and Nketiah came on for Lacazette. 10 minutes to go, can't mark him. And then the most weirdest of ones was 3 substitutes with 2 minutes to go. How are you making 3 subs with 2 minutes to go like they're going to change the fucking game? Willock, Tierney, Nelson. Can't mark him. Couple of minutes. Couldn't even get in the game. Probably didn't even break a sweat. Now we're going to go and get on to the manager rating, Mikel Arteta. I love the guy. Going to give him so much time. And I genuinely think he's going to get it right. But yesterday he got it so wrong. What's going on with Martinelli? What's going on with your substitutions? You know, we used to moan at Wenger for always making substitutions in the 70th minute. Well, at least he made them. At least the players had 20 minutes to change the game or do something. Why are you making 3 substitutes with 2 minutes to go? What's it going to do? It looked to me like he was settling for the draw. Settling for a draw at Brighton. Nah, fuck me, man. You're taking the piss. What's happened to Martinelli? Somebody please ask him in a press conference and tell me why we've made 10 substitutes in 2 matches and he's not been one of them. What's he done? What's going on? If he's not fit enough, why is he on the bench? Somebody ask that question, please, in a press conference, because I want to know. Not good enough for Mikel Arteta yesterday. The starting lineup I've got no issues with because it looked strong, it looked balanced. But it's the game management, the tactics and everything else. It just was not working. Not good enough. Mikel Arteta gets a 3. I just was not happy with that in any way, shape or form. So there we go. That is it for my player ratings. And as you can see, it might be the day after, but I'm still just as pissed off. Because when you look at it in the cold light of day, it's just not good enough. Simple as that, really. And I don't know how many more times I've got to sit here and repeat myself over and over again. I'm bored of it. Just rip it all up. Start again. Get this season over with. Don't even get into European football. You know, we can all be positive and sit there and say, let's get in the Champions League. We're so close. But the reality is we get into the Champions League, we will get fucking embarrassed. Because we are an embarrassment. We can't even beat teams like fucking Brighton. How do you think we're going to compete against Barcelona and Real Madrid and Bayern Munich? We can't even fucking compete against teams like Olympiacos in the Europa League. Harsh reality. Don't like it, don't fucking watch. And you can carry on and put up with this bullshit on a weekly basis. I will keep voicing my opinion and I will keep saying exactly how I feel about it. Because it's not fucking good enough. End of. So, what can we expect this week? DT's Daily. Then a preview to the Southampton game, which I'm so looking forward to. A place that we travel to so well. Yeah, great. And then, of course, there'll be a watch-along on AFTV. There will be player ratings for that. Don't expect anything, because I'm not looking forward to it in any way, shape or form. But yeah, listen, if you're new around there, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. And I will see you tomorrow morning for DT's Daily. I'm out of here.